fairly decent 1-2 punch, but he just doesn't have it in the tank anymore. That's a big deal.
I would imagine just get used to hearing that, because you're going to hear it a lot all year long. I think everybody's going to make the comment because it's so stark.
Yeah.
Like, it just all of a sudden his career just stopped, and we're all used to him, being high flyer, and he dunked on everybody and everything, and now he's struggling to find a way to contribute to his team.
All right, let's go back to the media room. Donovan Mitchell addressing the media.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, we'll get started with Sarah Todd, Deseret News.
Hey, John, you were the recipient of a couple of pretty incredible passes tonight. There was one in the second quarter where Bojan kind of threaded it to you on a cut under the basket, and it looked like both of you were a little surprised that it actually made it to you. And then there was also Favors sending that football pass to you out on the break. One, do you remember either of those? And two, how valuable is it to have, guys that are not you and Mike that can, be that accurate on a target and kind of create?
I think the biggest thing, is the willingness that we have as a team. That's where it first starts. And Boy and I are laughing because it's usually the other way around. Usually I'm finding him on the back cut. I think that was kind of funny. But the willingness to pass, we have that as a whole, 1 through 15. And I think that's what makes it special. That's what makes it fun. We enjoy making those passes to each other. And I think that's what makes this group special. That's not always the case. We're passing up shots to get a better shot. There's shots we take that are good and we find a greater one. Or, certain things like you said, like that Bojan one, like the Fave one, but there's just a bunch of times where it's just fun to make that pass. And I think that's really rubbing off on everybody.
Eric Walden, Salt Lake Tribune.
Hey, Don. So at what point down the stretch did it start feeling like it was, kind of a competitive game, that the Pistons were legitimately back in it? And what kind of became most important for you guys to do at that point to kind of get the momentum turned around again?
I think we got a little stagnant. Shots weren't falling. They were hitting. They were making a run. Did the same thing last game. I think the biggest thing we noticed that we got a little tired for a little bit, and then we picked our energy back up. We got rebounds. Mike pushed the break, hit Bojan for a shot. That really was a big moment for us. But just sticking with it. They're a talented team. They got talented guys, and they made shots. I think that's the biggest thing, is being able to withstand that. You're not always going to be up 20, 23, and then continue to go up 30, 40. It's not always going to be that way. Teams are going to fight back. They have pride, and they have guys who compete. So the biggest thing is being able to withstand that push, which they made a hell of a run, and we made a hell of a counter.
David James, KUTV.
Was there a little extra energy at the start of this game, just based on coming off of Denver, because that was a really dominant start?
Yeah, I think it was just a statement. I think the biggest thing is we weren't hanging our head too much after Denver. There's stuff we definitely could have improved on, and definitely stuff we could have done better. But, they shot the lights out, one. And two, I think JC said it. So we didn't expect to go 68-4. We would love to go out there, and the second half comeback was really something that we took into this game. I think the effort, the energy, that's what we have to play with at all times. Otherwise teams are going to come out, shooting 15 to 17 from three or whatever, maybe feeling comfortable. So for us, just going out there and just doing what we do from the jump. I think that was the biggest thing, and it was great to go out there and do that tonight.
Last question, Andy Larson, Salt Lake Tribune.
Donovan, transition is so important for you guys. And, when you guys kind of lose that for a second, then you were able to find it again late. How do you kind of flip that switch and kind of how can you keep it on for more of the game maybe next time?
I think you said transition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is it's a lot, to be able to run like the way we do. We got old guys on the team. I make fun of them all the time. We got Mike, we got Joe, but it's a lot, and it's a credit to everybody on the team. The willingness to run, which creates not only the passing lanes, but the driving lanes, the stuff. The reason we get our threes. And there are times where you get tired, you're running all the way, and then if we miss, we got to run back on defense and run again. It gets tiring after a while, but the persistence behind it, finding it late, led by Mike, finding Bojan in the corner. Royce with a go and catch, finding Bojan again in the corner. Those are the energy plays. Those are the ones that are going to take us over that, that hump that fog we were kind of in. But at the end of the day, man, just continuing to do it. And I think that's what we have on the team, guys who are really persistent on making that extra run, running all the way to the corner. That way there's space to attack. Rudy, the bigs running down, being able to get into the paint, creating drawing the defense in to be able to find those threes. I think that's what we realize that's our bread and butter, and we just got to continue to do that. But it is a lot. There can be times where there can be stretches where we're tired. It's natural. It happens. But as my college coach always used to say, like, when we're tired, they're exhausted. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of what's been in our head and just continuing to push through.
Real quick, do you feel that more at like the end of a 5-game and 8-day stretch like you just had?
I wouldn't say that. I think it's mental. I mean, there's going to be times where it's natural, it's evident, and it's going to happen. But I think I wouldn't say we felt that because of the stretch we had. I think it was just one of those things where we were doing such a good job of it, and they made a push and we didn't really make shots. And then there's just certain things that are just going to happen, but it's how you respond after that. That's really what's the test of a really good team. We're making that push to be that. We got to continue to do that, not just tonight, but we got a tough stretch coming up too. We got to be ready for that.
All right. Thanks, Donovan.
Donovan Mitchell, 32 points tonight, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. I thought Donovan said a number of interesting things there, Coach, but what stood out to you?
I just think that, he always has a level-headed approach to all this. I think the messaging that he chooses to share is always on point. This game, basketball is a game of runs and streaks, and the Jazz have been on the right side of those streaks more than they've been on the wrong side. We see night in and night out the improvement, and I agree with him. I just think you obviously there's lessons learned tonight, but the fact that they still have the ability when everything goes dead to kind of resurrect it, and that happened in transition, I think that's going to be a way that they blow through a lot of games this year. They'll fight teams, but it's going to be transition where they get those spurts and can actually pop out and win.
All right, let's look at your free 3-point feature sponsored by Mountain America Credit Union, helping members achieve their financial dreams for more than 80 years. Tonight from 3, the Jazz were 16 of 42. Let's see here, led by Bojan Bogdanovic, who was 4 of 8. Of course, a couple of big ones there in the final moment to put the game away for the Utah Jazz. Donovan Mitchell tonight, 2 of 6. Royce O'Neal, 2 of 6. Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell was 4 of 7. I'm sorry. Mike Conley, 2 of 6. Royce O'Neal, 2 of 6. Jordan Clarkson, 2 of 6, coming in off the bench. Joe Ingles, 1 of 4. George Niang, 1 of 4. It's kind of amazing, though, Tim. You look at 38% and going 16 of 42. But it's funny to say 38% actually below the Jazz average this season. That just seems amazing.
Yeah, they didn't shoot it great.
38%.
I mean, that's what we're getting to, and they're making 16 threes. It's crazy. But the 3-point record book's going to get rewritten this year by this year's Jazz team.
Yeah, it really is. There's no doubt. All right, you ready to get to some stats from our guy Tyson Ewing tonight?
I've been dying to do it. Let's do it.
Tyson, of course, it does the stats for the television broadcast, AT&T Sportsnet, and then he's nice enough to share some nuggets with us for the post game. You can follow him on Twitter at TyEwing2. That's at TYEWING, the number 2. All right, here we go. This is just the 6th time the Jazz have been rebounded this season. They are 3-3 when they get out rebounded. The Pistons had this stat really kind of blew my mind here. This tells you what kind of game it was. The Pistons had an extended run of 64-40 from the 2-minute mark of the second quarter to the 2-minute mark of the fourth quarter, and then the Jazz closed on an 8-0 run.
That's crazy. 64-40.
64
that's what it felt
40.
like, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it felt like.
That is exactly what it felt like. Utah was just 4 of 15 in the fourth quarter before Bogey's corner threes, so those were some important shots that he hit. Tonight was Donovan's 48th career 30-plus point game and his 4th this season. Royce tied his career high tonight with 13 rebounds. For the first time since, let's see here, what would this be? August 10th of 2020, a game versus Dallas, that Rudy Gobert went below 10 points and 10-plus rebounds in the same game. By the way, Rudy only played 16 minutes in that game.
Yeah, that one is kind of the interesting one to me. We really haven't seen a night where the production, it just kind of didn't come together for Rudy tonight like it has been.
Just feels weird saying games August 10th. I had to double check that. Like,
wait a second.
Wait, August?
That's got to be a typo.
Yeah. Let's see here. This was Royce's 6th career double-double. Tonight was the 6th wire-to-wire win for the Jazz, most in the NBA. And here's the last one. The Jazz have now made 20-plus free throws in 3 consecutive games. This is just the 8th time in the last 9 years where Utah has hit 20 or more free throws in 3 straight games.
Wow. Yeah, that's something.
Well, that was a real issue early on in the season. They weren't getting to the line at all. So I'd say that's a pretty positive stat. 25 of 29 from the free throw line tonight, 86.2%.
That number's going up for sure. I mean, it was like the assist number was really low, but they're finding a way to kind of get to the line more too.
Well, and Detroit was going to make that game ugly, and if a team's going to do that to you, you got to make your free throws.
Yep. Yeah, we talked about them being scrappy and tough, and that they would play hard, and they did not disappoint us in that regard.
All right. Thank you, Tyson Ewing, our good friend, at Ty Ewing2 on Twitter. Give him a follow. Want to remind you, go where love takes you in the all-new, completely redesigned 2021 Subaru Outback. Available now. Mark Miller Subaru, the official Subaru partner of the Utah Jazz. Learn more at markmillersubaru.com. Coming up next, we'll get the final thoughts from Coach Lacombe before we look forward to Atlanta. Straight ahead, right here on the Jazz Radio Network.
7 diamonds on a winding path.
That's right, 7.
Each one bigger than the one before.
These 7 diamonds are the 7 steps on the journey of love.
And it's a journey full of miracles.
The Miracle Journey pendant is the story of the 2 of you.
And it's a story told in diamonds.
And the Miracle Journey pendant
has a miracle price.
$119.
Did you hear what he said?
Just $119.
Miracles happen daily at Morgan Jewelers.
MorganJewelers.com.
This isn't a grilled cheese I'm making. It's a melty masterpiece that deserves a kitchen worthy of greatness.
Looks like my porch is full of packages again. It also looks like my compulsive buying needs to change to compulsive saving.
As I sit here on this couch, I decided to make some changes, starting with this couch.
I'd love to be looking out my window at a beautiful backyard instead of a brick wall. Time for a new house.
Whatever your passion, U.S. Bank can help turn it into your next pursuit. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Home searching has improved with technology, yet many are left feeling overwhelmed with extensive information and seemingly endless options at their fingertips. Research has shown that while the majority of buyers begin their search online, they quickly turn to the assistance of a realtor to guide them through this complex and infrequent transaction. A realtor can help sort through the mountains of data to help locate, properly price, and close on the best home for you. The internet provides information, a realtor provides knowledge. Expert help doesn't cost, it saves. Hire a realtor.
Bogdanovich corner, wide open, up, got it! It's over!
Fanatics Authentic is your #1 source for authentic and licensed sports memorabilia and collectibles. You can own a piece of the game. Visit fanaticsAuthentic.com/UtahJazzGU to purchase Utah Jazz player game-worn jerseys, shorts, warm-ups, and more. That's right, game-worn gear. You can also pick up game-used nets, chairback covers, basketballs, and more. Visit fanaticsAuthentic.com/UtahJazzGU.
Jazz Nation lives at the Gateway. Voted the best entertainment district in Salt Lake